The story for all ages about the kapok tree reminds me of a conversation I had with my younger cousin a couple of years ago. She was 10 years old at the time and visiting us here in Dallas. And as we drove through this neighborhood, she got really quiet and her eyes widened a bit. The houses in the Park Cities dwarf the apartments in the area of downtown Denver where she has grown up. So as I watched her peer out the car window, I thought maybe she was imagining what it would be like to live in a house like that herself. But after a moment, she just said, "You could fit a lot of animals in one of those houses." I was struck by that comment for 3 reasons. For one, it's an undeniably accurate observation. As she went on to explain, it would be easy to take in another injured bird if you have 17 spare rooms. Secondly, it's sweet that her love of animals made that her first thought about what someone could do with a house that size. And finally, the thought of using a house that way had never occurred to me. And I'd be willing to bet that thought also hadn't occurred to most of the people who actually live in this area. I don't know if it was just her age that allowed her to see that opportunity to shelter and to care for others in those houses. But without that comment, I would never have even tried to see those houses in that kind of light. Thinking about that moment has made me realize that many times the biggest obstacle to compassion is the challenge of intentionally seeking out opportunities to show compassion. Most people are more than willing to help others when given the chance, but a lot of the time it isn't obvious how to help. The best way that I know to find opportunities to show compassion is to actively seek out people with whom you would not interact normally. For my Girl Scout Gold project, I've been taking a group of volunteers from the youth group to the memory care unit at Highland Springs, a retirement community, to play music on iPods donated by members of this church for some of the residents there who have some form of dementia. Through this program, I've met so many people who I would not have ever run into in my regular circuit of school, clubs, YRUU, repeat. I've met a woman who absolutely loves Engelbert Humperdinck, a man who used to think that Elvis Presley was obscene, but has since warmed up to him, and a handful of classical music fans with very strong opinions on certain composers. And it has been incredibly rewarding to see the participants in the program react so strongly to the music we've brought in. But what has really struck me about the relationships built through this project is the reciprocity of compassion. A few weeks ago, when I casually mentioned that in the 4th grade I wanted to learn how to play the flute, but never had the chance to learn at school, one of the men perked up and insisted on helping me find a local music academy. He told me not to give up on my dreams, and gesturing towards the iPod, not to rely on that box to make all of my music for me. A week later, he came into the room telling me that he hadn't had a chance to find an academy for me yet, but that he was going to keep looking. His dementia is less pronounced than that of most of the other residents in the program, but it's still amazing that he remembered me and a specific conversation that we'd had a week earlier. Later, one of the Highland Springs employees told me that she never sees that particular gentleman speak more than during our visits. And this came as a surprise to me and the other volunteer who works with him, because he always talks so readily to us. He has shown us pictures of his godchildren and encouraged us to learn how to jitterbug, saying he would teach us himself if he could get out of his wheelchair. It has been incredible to see how quickly the volunteers and participants have grown to really care about one another. The exchange of compassion that has come naturally from this project has helped us build strong friendships with people who we would never have met otherwise. And cliched as it may sound, we've gotten back everything that we've given. And while it's easiest to look for ways to exchange compassion in an environment that you don't normally frequent, like the Park Cities for my cousin, or a retirement community for youth group volunteers, those opportunities can be found everywhere. So this leads me to my challenge for you. For one day, look for missed opportunities to show compassion in your life. Notice the person who drives the bus that takes you to and from work or school every day, but to whom you've never spoken. Pay attention to every time you non-committally ask a coworker how he or she is doing. Acknowledge every door that you could hold open for someone. For one day, look for ways to add compassion to your daily routine, because the biggest obstacle to compassion is the challenge of intentionally seeking out opportunities to show compassion.
Make this service possible, including our wonderful youth advisors, staff members Scott Cooper, and especially James Childers, who spent the day with us yesterday during our rehearsal to ensure that we had the quality of sound we needed. Each Sunday, we end our time together with a song. We'd like to teach it to you now. The words are simple, and many of you will remember it from years past. The words are, good friends, let me tell you how I feel. You have given me a treasure, I love you so.
Okay, so we'll sing it to you once, and then we'll all sing it together once, again. Then we will all sing it together as, wait for it, we're gonna go into 3 parts, guys. 3 parts. We're gonna break the sections here, here, and here. You guys, this is your maestro. I'll take over you guys, and then that's Andy for all you people over there. So we'll sing first, you guys get it, and then we'll sing it once, and then 3 parts. Okay?
Good friends, let me tell you how I feel. You have given me a treasure, I love you so. Good friends, let me tell you how I feel. You have given me a treasure, I love you so. Good friends, let me tell you how I feel. Let me tell you how I feel. You have given me a treasure, I love you so. I love you so.
Hold on to what is good, even if it's a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it's a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it's a long way from here. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you.